Brian Powell of I Run Far here with Jared Hazen after his second place finish at the 2019 Western States 100. Congratulations, Jared.
Yeah, thank you, Brian.
Holy crap, that was a fast time.
Yeah, incredible. I mean, it's a pretty special day out there.
What was your wildest dream coming into this race?
I mean, really, I had said before the race that I really wanted to try to win and put myself in a position to win, and I felt like I did that pretty well yesterday.
Yeah.
If, like, you're racing a guy like Jim Walmsley and you try really hard, and all day it was like 8 to 10 minute lead he had on me, and despite anything I tried, it was always 8 minutes, 10 minutes. I tried to run harder, it never seemed to
It
shrink.
goes down to 8:30.
Yeah. So it was tough. I'm like really proud of like how I ran. And you can't ask for much more.
I mean, yeah, you broke the old course record, which as of last year was mind-blowing.
Yeah, exactly.
So, I mean, did you have any sort of time in your mind?
I mean, I definitely thought that like I could run under 15 hours, and then when the weather was what it was yesterday, I figured things would be fast. I don't know if I necessarily thought that 14:26 was going to happen, but I was thinking somewhere at least in that realm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and how, like, through the day, once you get going, like once you're past Robinson Flat, how are you balancing trying to race Jim, and also trying to run like your own really good race without just trying to race Jim?
Yeah, I think it was actually a little helpful to be like, to not be right with Jim, because I was able to do my own thing and take advantage of the sections that I wanted to take advantage of, and kind of chop time where I wanted to, where I think a lot of times I was probably going through aid stations maybe a little faster, and maybe Jim was running some of the sections faster. And so I was definitely doing my own thing. I knew I had to stay on it because I knew Jim was not going to be running slow or giving up time to me. So I was, staying on the gas, but doing it the way I wanted to do it.
Yeah.
So,
was there any point that there was enough of daylight coming through the crack in the door that you thought maybe? Well, once you're like 50 miles in or something.
Yeah, I mean, I was really optimistic that anything can happen in the second half of a 100-mile race, and to consistently be getting that 8 to 10 minutes, like it wasn't really ever getting that much bigger. Just like totally had hope of even going into the last 20 of like anything can happen here.
And do you think? I mean, you train with Jim. You live with Jim. Like,
yeah,
you train with him a bunch, I'm assuming.
Exactly. Yeah.
Do you know where like you actually have strengths that like at least match well with him, or maybe you're better at?
So I would say Jim's probably a much stronger climber than I am. But as far as like just like flat runnable trail and downhill stuff, I think I'm more on par. He's definitely even got way more leg speed and very fast on like road stuff. But I think just getting on a standard trail, throwing in those variables, we get a little more even. And then I think just my biggest strength in general is being a strong runner and being, able to close well. And so that's kind of where I was very hopeful in the last 20 of like, maybe I have something here. Yeah.
I mean, you're only 24, right?
Yeah.
So you have more, at least years-wise, more 100-mile experience than Jim does, right?
That's true. I do, yeah. Been doing them a little longer.
Do you think that experience paid off? I mean, it's kind of a rare combination to be your age, going into peak endurance years with
the experience. Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, it's been 4 years since the last time I ran it, so in some ways it's like I haven't done this in a while.
Yeah.
But totally just like I remembered, I remember what it's like and kind of I think the mentality that you have to have and just the right attitude and whatnot. So, yeah, I mean, I think I definitely wasn't like worried about, blowing it of like making rookie mistakes. If I felt like I knew what I was doing.
Right on. So there was no concern from that lack of recency in the 100-mile distance. So you've run 14:26 here.
Yeah.
It was a great conditions.
Yeah.
Do you think if there was another great day here, you could lop some more time off?
Yeah, I mean, I think so. I like just being young. I think you just get better just by getting older. Like,
Yeah.
you know, you train consistently, you get a year older, and it's like you're a better runner the next year.
And do you feel like that's gone on?
Yeah, and I think that's continuing, and you know, I'm finding new boundaries all the time, and so I think there's more time. There's more time to be cut off here. For
And
me.
is that going to be? That sounds like you want to come back to Western States and try to lop some more time off.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, I want to come back for sure. Maybe likely next year.
Yeah.
Likely I want to come back next year. Getting the win, you know, it just depends on the conditions. Like you know, it's so variable here from year to year. There's snow, it's heat, whatever. So it's tough to nail, like really have your head on a time from year to year.
Yeah. But winning is winning.
Yeah,
And that's
exactly.
on your mind.
Yeah, that's totally.
I mean, because that had to be. Did it ever go through your mind during the race that, like, Jim had the year where he was hitting it out of the park and then wasn't? Like,
yeah. Well, yeah.
As a concept, like
Exactly. It could be. I don't know. I mean, I could pass him walking any minute now. Who knows?
yeah.
Yeah.
So it's not like you're feeling defeated or something out there. It's
Yeah.
anything's.
I was staying like really optimistic. Totally had my head in the game and still pressing as hard as I could. I would say really all the way to the finish because once I hit Corey Road, I heard 14 minutes. That was I felt was an accurate split, and I was like, okay, it's unlikely I'm catching Jim at this point. But even then, I'm looking at my watch, knowing that I can go under his course record from last year, and so that was a nice thing to keep me chasing. You know, the last 10 miles.
To push, yeah. So, am I correct that you didn't have a pacer out there?
I didn't know.
What was the thinking behind that choice?
I just do well by myself. I mean, I enjoy training by myself. I like training with the guys too, but for me, I totally just pull a lot of strength from going inwards and kind of just focusing on what I'm doing and not having somebody else kind of distracting, you know.
Now, when you're looking inwards, I know there's some people who like to focus on the darkness or the suffering. Or where do you go? Or where do you like?
I think, you know, for me, and yesterday I told myself a lot, like, we're just like, I'm living right here. Like, this is in this moment right now. And just not really thinking too much of just kind of experiencing what I was going through.
So not to label with a philosophy, but like Zen, you're just kind of
like,
just there.
Exactly.
Not, letting it be. What else are you looking at this year? Anything?
So I don't really have anything on the schedule yet. I will definitely, you know, pick some stuff up later in the year, and probably in the fall I'll either be at JFK or North Face 50. But there'll definitely be something between now and then.
Yeah, you just wait and see what. Yeah,
figure it out.
Right.
Yeah.
So yesterday was a day of some sort of variable conditions, ground-wise, in terms of snow. I'm assuming there was some wet trail early on.
Yeah, the high country wasn't too bad. The snow was pretty hard packed, a little wet, but yeah, not too bad. I think the snow slowed things down a little in the high country.
What shoes and socks did you go with?
So I was wearing a Speedgo Evo. It's an innovation shoe that I believe is coming out in the fall.
Yeah.
So they're really good, like very breathable. They let water like in and out like so easy.
Nice.
So it's good to just not be like having sopping shoes.
Yeah.
And then wearing the Dry Max, like Max Protection Hyper Thin, I think is what they're called.
Extra Protection Hyper Thin. That's like the one Walmsley I know wore last year, I believe.
Yeah. So and that's the same thing. It's a thin sock that doesn't hold a lot of water, but you get like really good protection on the bottom of your feet.
But you aim for not having a soggy sponge for whatever it is, like the combination of shoes and socks. Like you're conscious of that.
Something that is not going to hold a lot of water.
So, I mean, like, are you doing like at aid stations? A lot of people like sort of dunk sponges and like just really soak themselves.
Yeah, I was even yesterday when it's not that hot. It's like just soaking yourself. It's a good little. Sometimes it can just be a little shock to kind of to help you snap out of a low patch or something. It's just good.
And those low patches happen even in a great 14,
race.
26 Western States. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, congratulations, Jared. It was fun watching you out there.
Thanks, Brian.